you?" No response. Sandy is distraught. He sat down. Arthur was nowhere to be seen. So Sandy figured out how to ask people for directions, how to get back on the subway, and how to make it up to 158th Street to Columbia University by himself. And he said, after that, he said, "I knew that my blindness would never be a handicap for me and I could survive." What Sandy didn't know is that Arthur was 10 feet behind him the whole time. And it's again about setting expectations and reaching much farther than you ever thought you could. But I mentioned this story is not entirely about Sandy. In fact, Sandy went on to a very successful career. He was an inventor, an entrepreneur, a White House fellow, an investor, and is extremely successful. So Sandy graduated from Columbia with honors with the help of Arthur, and he got a Fulbright fellowship and went to Oxford. While he's at Oxford, and he said, "I had managed to save a few $100s again," he gets a call from his former roommate, Arthur. Arthur had gone to graduate school. "Hello, Sandy." "Yes, Arthur." "I'm really unhappy. I'm dropping out of graduate school. I don't like what I'm doing." Sandy said, "Well, what do you want to do?" He said, "I want to sing." And he said, "This fellow I went to high school with plays the guitar, and we want to start a singing group. But we need," this is before CDs, so they're records. You may not know what a record is, but your parents will know. And we need about $300 to cut a record. And my parents said, "This is such a dumb idea, they won't give me the money. And I don't know what to do." So Sandy took his entire life savings and sent it to Arthur. He said, "After all, he made my life, maybe I could help make his." So it's a wonderful story about how doing well by doing good comes back. Oh, you may want to know who Sandy's roommate was. Again, the students may not know, but his roommate cut a record called Wednesday Morning 3 a.m., and on it initially flopped, but on it there was a single that became very popular months later called The Sounds of Silence. And Sandy's roommate was Art Garfunkel, and his partner was Paul Simon, and Simon and Garfunkel were probably one of the 2 or 3 most successful singing groups of the last 30 or 40 years. So again, it's how those gifts that you give keep on giving, and sometimes they come back and give to you. And now I would close by thanking the San Diego Indian American Society for the privilege and honor to speak today. Congratulate the students and their families for receiving scholarships for this next phase of your journey in education. I'd like to close with the most appropriate quote for the college-bound students, also from Gandhi. "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." I wish you all many decades of lifelong learning. Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, Bill, for that very stirring talk and those wonderful stories. Now we come to the main event, and that's to recognize the Gandhi scholars. For that, we have Ramesh Rao to do the honors. Ramesh.
Thank you, Inder. As perhaps most of you know, this is an annual affair that we've been running for now 31 years. The Gandhi Scholars Award process starts with student nominations. We gather information about the students' accomplishment, their family circumstances, but there's also a personal statement, and most importantly, an essay on nonviolence. What does Gandhi mean today to folks that are so far removed, both culturally and in time, from the era in which Gandhi lived? I want to acknowledge the efforts that go into reading through these essays and picking out the winners. In particular, I want to recognize Varun Chaturvedi, who is a student here at UCSD, Deborah Forster, who's a researcher, Dominga Sanchez, one of our graduates who now spends her time working on outreach efforts out of engineering, and Nitya Timalsina, who was a recipient of this scholarship a few years ago. So we will call out the names of the winners, and please step up and receive your certificate. We'll then have the Avid Scholars presentations, following which we will have two of the winners read their essays on nonviolence. So we'll start with Preetham Sundararajan from Francis Parker High School, who is on his way to Harvard. Apurva Mailarappu from Torrey Pines High School, who is not here.
She's in India right now.
Prachi Anshu from University City High School. And Prachi is going to UCSD. Extra round of applause for that. Huh? Ajay Nathan, Del Norte High School, also Harvard bound. Utkrisht Rajkumar from Mira Mesa High, also going to UCSD. Parker Brown, Grossmont High School, going to UCSD. Larissa Rogers, Claremont High School, on her way to USD, University of San Diego. Achintya Surudelu, Torrey Pines High School, headed to Purdue. Kaylee DeHamer, Patrick Henry High School, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Sarah D'Souza, Canyon Crest High School, on her way to UCLA. Priya Bhatt, Del Norte High School, also headed to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Michaela Iglesia, Scripps Ranch High School, on her way to UC Berkeley. Araceli Huerta, Escondido High School, on her way to UC Santa Barbara. Do-Won Kim, who's not in town, but I believe the dad's here. Torrey Pines High School, on his way to Princeton.
Secretary for Agriculture.
Daniele Castillo, Mission High School, Mission Hills High School, coming into UCSD. Nitya Sampath, Carlsbad High School, incoming Triton to UCSD. TJK Williams, Montgomery High School, also coming into UCSD. Rahul Malavalli, Westview High School, also headed to UCSD. UCLA, I'm sorry, UCLA, not UCSD. He still gets the award. Dylan Patel at Canyon Crest High School, the University of Michigan. Not here. Trina Killian, West Hills High School, on her way to Chapman. Kathy Trang, Patrick Henry High School, headed to USC. We also have Dominique Henderson, who's not here, and finally Judith Delgado, Hoover High School, headed to UCSD. So the next segment is the presentation of the AVID scholars, Mrs. Hema Lal and Mr. Subodh Garg will walk us through it.
So I'm just very pleased to be able to congratulate the AVID scholars. First one is Shannon Bredesen. She's graduating from Grossmont High on her way to UC Davis. And Shannon is not here. Quinn Yang is graduating from Mission Hills on her way to UCSD. Quinn describes herself as stubborn as a mule, and she wants to use her tenacity, focus, and hard work to study environmental engineering at UCSD. Jacqueline, sorry. Jacqueline Reina Magana is graduating from Rancho Buena Vista. She's very curious, not afraid to ask questions and work hard. She plans on becoming a researcher in the field of neuropsychology at UC Berkeley. Saeed, graduating from Crawford. Throughout high school, Saeed has been involved in robotics and engineering, and he plans on attending UCSD to study mechanical engineering. Sumadip is a very social person, loves to interact with others, and will use this skill to help in the nursing career she plans to pursue. She's attending Mesa College. Gabriel Urelo could not attend. He did come here to personally tell me he had to work, and please, forgive him for not being able to participate in this award ceremony, but he did show up. So that's what makes these AVID scholars so special. Their parents did not go to college. They did not have anyone to say, oh, here's my son, he's a 4.0 and a 1800 SAT. They had extreme difficulties, personal lives, and despite that, with the AVID program, they have shown that their hard work and everything, they're going to do very well. They've learned how to succeed in college. So, hats off to Gabrielle. Hats off to all of you avid scholars. All of you, congratulations and good luck in college.
So now for the reading of the essays, the first recipient that we'd like to call on is Kaylee Dehan.
An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. It would seem obvious to any person that taking out each other's eyes is not the best way to solve problems. But apparently, much of society has still not learned its lesson. When Mahatma Gandhi said this, he meant to discourage violent opposition against an oppressor. But I believe he was also trying to make a solemn statement about the world we live in. In fact, one could interpret his words as a warning against the attitude of everyone for themselves. What I believe Gandhi was trying to say, beyond the immediate meaning of his words, was that if we work together, if we help each other, if we try to understand each other, everyone will be able to see the beauty in the world. Nonviolence is the path through which we can help each other to see that beauty. Through nonviolent conflict resolution, we can drive away the darkness that violence brings. Opposing sides of an argument often have ideological blinders that inhibit their ability to see any other point of view as logical or probable. When one does not want to understand the other side or talk to the opposing point of view, the only thing left to do is battle. What could one hope to accomplish by employing violence? Whether or not they are talked about, ideas cannot be silenced. Thoughts and beliefs will always remain. The only thing that either side of a conflict could hope to accomplish through violence is continual sacrifice without meaning, a war with no end. The clashing of swords does not convey ideas. The bullet of a gun does not encourage understanding. The only thing that violence perpetuates is a stagnant society, one that does not change for the better, but remains in the wrong, soaked only in a still pool of hatred, blood, and fear. Nonviolent conflict resolution fosters understanding, brings people closer together, and accounts for the fact that the other side is made up of people, too. Violence does not destroy ideas. Violence destroys people. Throughout history, I have noticed a common trend. People who employed nonviolent protest in order to resolve a conflict succeeded, whereas those who chose the violent path did not. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi chose the nonviolent path. This choice ultimately led to the resolution of their conflict and created greater acceptance, understanding, and awareness worldwide. Although violence might silence the opposing side of a conflict, it does not solve the conflict. Those who resort to violence are often those who lack the skill of listening and considering others' opinions and ideas. That's the problem, isn't it? Each side of a conflict always seems to think that they are right, that there is only one way, or one religion, or one right way to govern a country. To those people, I wish to ask this question: is there only one type of person? The power behind nonviolent conflict resolution lies in words. Words can pierce the conscience. Words can thaw the heart. But most importantly, words are how humans communicate their feelings and ideas. Gandhi inspired an entire nation to stand up in nonviolent protest against violent oppressors with just his words. Nonviolent conflict resolution requires people to listen, speak, respect, accept, and understand. Words are the soil in which the seeds of nonviolence sprout and cause the roots of understanding to spread throughout the earth. Words have the power to change the world, and everyone has words.
The second recipient that we would like to call on is Daniele Castillo.
Our nation was founded through violent means. The Revolutionary War is celebrated as the birth of our country, but this success did come with a price. The thousands of people that died was a high price to pay. Moreover, consider World War I and II. These wars consist of one of the highest death tolls in history. Is it possible to make a difference without hostility? Martin Luther King Jr. serves as an answer to such a question. Inspired by Gandhi's method, Martin Luther King Jr. embodied nonviolent tactics and led the fight against discrimination in the 1960s. King rallied thousands of people in his movement for equality. These people protested against discrimination laws by staging sit-ins, marches, and liberty rides around the country to gain media attention about the injustice of racial segregation. Other actions, such as boycotting and breaking the law, allowed for protesters to gain an upper hand against southern states as their actions hurt the economy and conveyed their message loud and clear. While protesters were brutally beaten and arrested unfairly, the citizens of the United States were watching. Much to the southern states' dismay, the civil rights movement was gaining support nationwide. Because both King and the protesters remained calm and refused to strike back, their attackers were exposed in a negative light as their brutalities further indicated the need for justice. King eventually died as a result of his movement, but he did not die in vain. He served as a martyr for the fight against racial inequality, and his movement eventually led to the passing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. On a personal note, I have also faced situations where violence would seem like the easiest solution to a problem. During the spring semester of my junior year, I was bullied. Every day was a struggle as I dealt with snide remarks, grimaces, and teasing. At first it wasn't bad, but then things got out of hand. I came home from school in tears almost every single day, and things seemed hopeless. At first I was angry. I wanted to stand up to them and show them that I was not one to be reckoned with. But I knew that fighting back physically would only result in suspension and would cause me to sink to their level. However, I knew that I could not let them break me. I had to take action. Instead, I went to administration and reported the bullies. It was intimidating to take such a bold and risky move, but the principal surprisingly understood. After a few weeks, the bullying stopped and I started to discover myself again. In order to generate change, one must lead by example. By engaging in combative behavior, this makes you no better than the enemy. Fighting fire with fire can only make the problem larger and more difficult to put out. If one wants justice, they must treat others fairly. If one wants peace, they must indicate what peace looks like. If one wants respect, they must respect others. War and violence may yield results, but it also has a high price to pay. Can we resolve problems using nonviolence? Yes, we can, and we have. Gandhi's legacy has inspired thousands of people and created a more peaceful world. Martin Luther King Jr.'s efforts rid the nation of discriminatory laws. These men were successful because they led by example. By contacting administration rather than fighting the bullies, I was not only able to stop the bullying, but I also stayed true to the person I am and did not jeopardize my own record because of them. Nonviolence can change the world and make a difference.
it is my pleasant duty to thank all those who made the function a very memorable one. And first and foremost, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our chief guest and the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Lecturer, Dr. Brody, for your very inspiring lecture and most memorable words that we can remember. And more importantly, the students can relate to everything you said. So it will be a wonderful thing. And thank you very much for taking time among a very busy activity to know that. And many of the people support us for a long period of time. And as I said, the first lecture was delivered by Dr. John Salk, and we have got a 30 glorious years. Now the 31st lecture is delivered by the president of the Salk Institute. Now I hope to have another 30 years of glorious life for this organization. Thank you very much again. With the support we received from the community, we would like to expand our activities to include services in other areas, like tutorial service in high schools and so on. And we are now planning to see whether this can be done in certain high schools, particularly in 2 high schools. One is at Lincoln High School, other one possibly one for high school which you don't have decided yet. So we would like to have your support in the future for us to expand our activities, and all the people of Indian origin, open up your wallet and give us a lot of money. Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madhu. As you know, I am the president, but I actually work for Madhu. And everybody knows that he does everything. So thanks again for everyone to come here. And again, my special congratulations to all of you. And some of you at UCSD might even see teaching you one of these days, so I don't know who you are. And now we have a reception outside, so please join us for reception. And I gather there's a picture for the winners with Dr. Brody. Okay.
All the scholars and the board of directors to come here to participate.
And the rest of you have outside reception, and the advantage is you go ahead, you have everything.
So let me mention that during the reception, some of our labs next door are open, so you might want to wander in and get a sense of the kind of activity that takes place here. It's actually eye candy, so take a few minutes to wander in. You will have signs and other help outside.
The board of directors present each